That
Well, damn.
no, that don't even make no sense to me. You think that's a comeback? Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Hey, hey. Yeah. And it's like now,
Don't call it a comeback. Yo, wait a second. I just
the hangout, Kelly. It's
nah.
like it's crazy that we got different names for different people. I have to send one name to, and then I have to send a different name to Kel.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Good morning and welcome to Mo Knows, featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Ow! Yes,
Wait
how
a
does
minute.
wait a minute, how does that go? We 20 twinning. No, 20 twin.
No,
Go ahead, say.
don't 20 twin. Yeah, don't
Wh-
mess it up like that.
Ah
It's
man.
20
You know I thought I
twin.
was cool. With
No,
20 twin.
twin. You know what, Monica? Just say 2020, okay? Because you just
Okay, all right. I can't say it. I've been knocked out of the club.
look. I only had 12 people, and you took two of them, and three, four, five.
Ain't nobody come over here. The room is empty. At least I think it is. Hold on, let me go check the other screen.
I'm bad over here. I can hear myself talking. I'm so ignorant. Hey, it's so light over there.
Oh man, Raining Women's live. Shout out to Raining Women. I'm more late with my shoes anyway. People premiering all up and down the place. Okay.
Oh yes, they have. I've been seeing that too. I was like, oh my god, everybody's so festive today, and oh, people doing premieres.
Yeah.
Yeah, premieres, and they out and about. Did I in my okay, Lord.
Wait a minute. The influencers told me to stay in the house, so I did.
Well, my
But hold
damn
on.
kids. Oh, somebody at the door. Who else is that? Yeah, let's keep it going. Early morning worship.
You want to be in the worship? Hold on, I can't even see. My thing is buffering. I don't know if it's buffering in real time. Anyway, I was just chilling with Joy on Joy's live. She's been live since 2019.
I like it. She been like since 2019.
I'm just saying. so, so we're just having girl love around here. That's it. Nothing else better to do. So I woke up this morning. I gotta turn on the lights, but I woke up this morning and I made me a momosa.
Uh-oh.
Mosa.
Oh, I was meant to play that live when a man was trying to snatch the little girl off the bus.
Oh.
And that is still programmed on my thing. I'm going to do it later, though.
Oh, okay.
I'm going
Mm.
to look at it later.
Mm. See, I don't even know if this is streaming properly because I can't pull on the other side. I'm trying to pull it up on the computer. Save yourself, rain and woman.
I'm trying to pull it up on the, save yourself, Raymond.
Oh well, I guess it's playing. It's three people in the chat. Hey, what y'all got hangovers? Wake y'all asses up. It's Motown.
Oh, I guess it's playing. It's three people in the chat. Hey, I got hangovers, wake your asses up. It's roast time. Oh, hey.
All right, so I was just hanging out with Joy. I was finishing up Joy's live. I gotta turn on the light and I gotta get the book so we can write our 2020 intentions.
I was just hanging out with Joy. I was finishing up I got it. I gotta turn on the light and I gotta get the book. Happy New Year.
That is Kels. You know her as bad and bougie. Hold on, where's my cord so I could connect the phone?
I got my composition notebook right here.
She's like, I got my composition notebook on deck. All right, let me turn on the light. But wait a second, Joy, can you see it? Let me turn on the light though. It deserves a moment. Hey, hey, princess. Talking sheep.
Can y'all hear? Is it doubling? Let me turn on the light. Okay, princess. Hi. Okay. Maybe I gotta leave. You can hear me, Kills?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear you. Okay. I was trying to see how I can stream hers. Look, why are we streaming each other? We only get 5 people between each other. Now we sharing 2.5. The hell?
Okay, that's okay.
You want us to just
No, wait a second. No, no, no.
I want to fuck with
She
her
gotta
for a
see.
minute.
She
I
gotta
want to
see.
stream in between so
Yeah.
we can see how this looks.
So
Okay.
this morning, Joy was very upset
Uh-oh.
with me because she feels
I can
like
hear her. So this morning,
you can't hear me.
this morning, Joy, have you ever that she feels somebody
She should get an award.
Wait, it's a delay. Hold on. How did I see it? How can I fix this? Oh, maybe I need to
Oh, you know what though?
mute yourself on my live.
Okay, let me
No.
do that. Hold on, let me find you now.
Okay, never mind. There we go. Okay. Maybe I got Okay, go.
Okay, I was already muted. Okay, okay. So Joy was upset because I called her yesterday. Hold on, I know what I'm gonna do.
So this morning,
Oh,
Joy,
maybe my thing
have
is
you
on.
met with me because she feels like so this morning, you can't hear me. She should get an award.
All right. She feels that she was left out of the influencers. And she was reminding me how she's contributed to being an influencer, right? Now, I realized that I left off some names yesterday. And you folks reminded me that I left off some names yesterday. So, I wanted to give a special acknowledgement to those folks that I left out, that felt left out. Here it is. You are the official temporary owner of the statue. Let me see Joy's response in real time. Oh shucks. Hold on. I can't even hear her now. Hold on. Oh man. You know technology don't really work for us that well around here, right? Oh. Good morning, folks. Damn it. Hold on a second. That one. I gotta go back in the thing. I gotta find the link. I just disconnected myself. Oh, you muted me? That's what it was? There's something wrong with us. Anyway, we had a hell of a New Year's. I hope you guys brought in your New Year's with family, friends, or loved ones. Um, I hope that you understand the importance of belonging somewhere. But this is to my good friend Joy. I swear. Anybody remembers this from my season one? I'm gonna go back and roll some video footage today. We're drinking mimosas this morning. This is Monica's version.
I'm afraid to unmute. You know, technology don't really work for us around here, right?
Oh, that's why. Well, go ahead. Say what you gotta say, Joy.
Thank you for my award.
I look forward to how am I supposed to
Good
say it?
morning.
Wait, you guys gotta get with the program. It's 20 twin. Oh, I just don't have it. I just don't have what it takes. That's okay. Joy, I'm gonna sign off on you. Thank you for a good evening. I had a lot of fun. Even though the topics were tough, I enjoyed myself. So that's how it goes. Okay, Sam, did I forget you? We so corny because I'm streaming mode. No, we're not corny. We're just doing what we do. It's life is too short. Yeah, y'all supposed to enjoy it. Somebody didn't wake up. Did anybody know where the first baby was born? The first baby of 2020? Who that is? Where were they born at? Those are the things we look forward to. But I'm gonna leave this sitting here all day. This is in Mo. Did you go to Times Square? No, I did not go to Times Square. I told you the vote of the influencers was I keep my ass at home. I stayed at home. Today I'm wearing my shirt that says subscribe. Remember, if you like my vibe, then you should subscribe. If there's anything less, then you can just depart my mess. That's all. Um, but I'm wearing my subscribe t-shirt to remind folks, just in case they come over here for the first time for some bullshit. At least subscribe, if you like the vibe. Because I'm sure you're going to like the vibe. Because I'm just going to be me. This here is for anybody that felt like they was left out of being acknowledged yesterday when I was talking about influencers. But there are some people that I felt needed to be. You ended it? Okay. Thing I guess I'll pull up the call-in number. Let me think about that because I don't want weirdos calling me today fucking with me because I don't want to be fucked with this morning. I want to talk about some real shit and some real time. Now I done spent all this time talking to people and now I feel so isolated because I only have the chat. So, maybe in this year I have to work on incorporating more people in a platform style live. Hmm, okay. But no, I did not go to Times Square. The influencers said no, don't do that. So I didn't do that. And I'm driven by the influencers. My thing says you're still live. All right, who sent me a text message? All right. Anywho. I'm going to my journal. Let's see. So we left off with in our last episode, we did the checking in stuff, right? And we checked on our strengths, and we started to outline things about ourselves that we were strong with. We started to outline our habits. So just to recap, just in case somebody did not get to this point, we highlighted our habits, our routines, how we hold ourselves accountable? What do we do to hold ourselves accountable? Accountability. What affirmations work for you? We discuss you self care. I was about to say skincare. I'm mad at you, Joy. I was just about to say skincare. We talked about self care. We You were supposed to write down how um your support systems, what things you use to support yourself, and the practices that work for you, and anything else that works for you. It's all about you. Today, we're moving into the next level, and that is letting go. Let it go, let it go. You know, I can't sing, so anything that involves music is not for me. We're not going to pretend here. Oh, you got lost in what? You must have missed a day. I think you missed a day because we did. The last day was checking in. The day before that, we was into writing about your positive experience out of the year, out of 2019. And I was hoping to finish all of these things about 2019 so that when we hit 2020, we'd just be doing the 2020 stuff. So this is the last phase because I didn't come back last night. I took a nap once I found parking. So here is the last phase of this. Letting go. While there are tools, techniques, and things that you already have that can help you with your future intentions and goals, there also may be things that aren't as helpful or aligned or that resonate with you anymore. Use your journal to get a clear picture about what you would like to let go as you move forward. So maybe today is a good day. I would have loved to do this last night, but what are the things that you want to let go? I gave you a pause moment because I'm sure each of you has embarked in the, oh, we're in a new decade and this is exciting. Hey, May. But what are the things that you want to let go? So let's get the categories so it can help you narrow the things that you want to let go. Beliefs. What are those little things that you believe that you want to let go? You have some bias. Routines you want to let go. So we talked about in the previous exercise routines that you use. You might want to go back now and maybe you didn't write down a routine because it's one of those that you want to let go. But go back and look at the routines that you wrote as your strength and ask yourself, are these routines really adding value to me? I know this is what I do on a normal basis, but is this really adding value to me? Is this something am I just doing this to do this? So, for instance, one of my routines was doing Mono. And I'm really rethinking how I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to make any changes before the 2nd year anniversary. So when we hit the 2nd year anniversary, there will be some real changes. Yeah, it is. And I already wrote in my book, and I'm going to show y'all. Let me make sure what I wrote. So I am actually going to share an entry with you. Somebody asked me if I was going to do that. So it says stories I'm letting go for 2020. And there it is. Oh, let me not have my Jan Hunt. No, I was just playing with y'all. And there it is. Let me move it this way. There it is. I'm letting go of that story. I'm over it. I am completely over it. It's a passing news. Anyway, and any other thing that you want to let go. So it's very simple. What beliefs that have shaped you, that you continue to embark in, that you believe that you need to let go in 2020 so that you can enjoy the rest of your life. For some of you, it will be some of that spiritual stuff you got going on. Hi, Mama. Good morning. Let me get my mimosa. San Francis. How did we all come together? I'm leaving that story behind. If you can't see it, you can feel it. Routines. What do you do regularly? Those are the things that you really got to change. So I'm going to go in. I wrote my thoughts in my composition notebook more clearly, but I wanted to make sure that I spelled out that I was getting rid of. I was getting rid of that story. I was getting rid of the freezer story. That's one story in my life that, you know, I'm getting rid of. So, one big material change I'm going to make, um, and I'm gonna do it as an upload. The new book, the book for the month. I've selected it. I am going to do something on this now because I'm gonna pull this out and extract it as a video to itself. So I'm going to do something different this time with these books. I am going to read you an excerpt from the book and then introduce you to the book. So we are now, and I started reading this book. It's unfair though, guys. I know it is super unfair. I'm already like 50 pages in the book. I am so sorry. I bought the book yesterday. I honestly went to the bookstore yesterday. I do not have a 2020 list yet. I'm not 2020. I don't have I don't have the list yet of the books that I'm gonna read for 2020 because I'm gonna debut those again on the 15th when it's the anniversary. I think it's better. But I already started reading the book. I like the way the person wrote in his book. This book was inspired by Jack Spade. Uh, and I'm gonna give you a little history about it. Right, Jack Spade came in here a few nights ago, and he asked me about uh, a, 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 a police involved shooting, right? That resulted in the death of a young man. No, that's not how that sounds. It was supposed to be 20 or something like that. That's how you was saying it. That's how I was saying it one morning. Now I'm not in the cool gang anymore. The minute I got over here, I was no longer cool. I feel like I got thrown out the clubhouse or something. Anyway, So I'm just introducing y'all to how I came upon the book. So he asked me about one of the police involved shootings, right? And we were talking the topic at hand. We were discussing. Good night. I know you're tired. We were discussing how the media basically, we've heard these stories, or we've heard about these events, but we all got different perspectives of it because we all got a different story as to what happened, right? And I was like, well, remind me which murder this was, which protest this was, which whatever it was. And he was talking about the Michael Brown case. And I was like, didn't this start inside of a grocery store that the guy stole something? Or I don't know if I said this had to do with buying weed or something in the grocery store or whatever. And he was like, no, that's what people like to believe. This started as the boy was walking down the street and the police officer stopped him, and they were walking in the middle of the street instead of walking on the sidewalk. I'm I'm not gonna say it no more because I don't know nothing about it. Oh, you probably got the same one I saw. So I'm gonna tell you this, right? I realized that there are a lot of people are gonna be new to me, right? And they are going to be on these YouTube streets, and they are accustomed to hijacking conversations from one place and carrying those conversations to another. That is not going to happen here because I do have an agenda. But where things um, fall within the world that I like to be in, I'll entertain it. So even though Jack Spade has managed to make this a topic, it's only because it is of interest to me. And I felt bad because I do believe that each of these young men, that Black lives do matter, is basically what I'm gonna say. And I do believe that these stories are important, um, but they're important because not just the individual died. They're important because we need to work on how we address these. As a community, as individuals, we need to work on how we deal with these issues. And that's important to me that I at least uh, bring it, bring some light to it in a way that um, makes a positive impact on folks. I'm all for civil disobedience. Um, I ain't participate in it much, but I understand the necessity of it. And I'm gonna tell you this: I am reading this book with an eye on I'm reading this book so far. My initial impression of what I've read is that folks today believe that this is the first time their experience with protesting is the first time that protests ever existed. And they are definitely speaking out against the treatment during these protests. Um, and I find and things I didn't know were said, especially with the guy with him. Well, wait, Evolve, wait. So we saw the same documentary. You have to say allegedly. There was never a court case, to my knowledge, with this because he wasn't indicted. If I Where I'm at now, the officer wasn't indicted. If I'm wrong, then we'll find out as I get through the book. But the officer wasn't indicted. So how how do we know what was said between the people? Whose perspective are you hearing that from? Dead people can't talk. Was he white? So one of the so you saw an interview with the other victim? Well, with the other young man that was walking with him? Cause so far the what I saw the police officer's interview and what he said happened. I saw the I saw an interview with two young ladies that witnessed what happened from. mm, Anyways, there's more to come with the story. There's more to come with the story. I'm gonna have to catch up to where you at because I didn't hear anything um from the other young man. But I could tell you a part of me, I only, because I went first. Well, I guess this is me. Okay, sorry. This is me and my investigative approach. I went to look for anything involving what the police officer said happened. And from what I could see, the police officer said that he was just driving along, minding his own freaking business, and he saw two men walking on the yellow line, and he told the young man to get off the yellow line, to stop walking in the middle of the street on the yellow line. And the men replied, according to the officer, the men replied that they were going to that they were almost at their destination. So that sounds like they were just saying we were getting off the we getting off the thing, we almost here. And so this is the Michael Brown murder in Ferguson, St. Louis. And he said that then the second gentleman spoke to him. And then when the second gentleman spoke to him, which is Michael Brown, he was aggressive in his speech or whatever. And it escalated from there. They were having an argument, the officer and the dude. And then he made it sound like while he was in his car, trapped in his car, this guy was punching him in the face and everything and all this other shit. And I'm like, y'all gonna have to show me some pictures of this shit right here. That the officer was abused or whatever. Um, but the young ladies described it as they saw some kind of tussle going on, as if the officer was like trying to pull him back. They saw some kind of like he tried to pull him from being inside the car. He tried to pull him back, and he was trying to flee. But I never seen an officer trying to grab somebody's ass while in the car. They normally, the car could still be rolling and they jump out the damn car. So that thing was just crazy to me. But the book that I'm reading now has to do with, it's coming from the activist perspective of being there on the scene and being an activist. And I think that this is very I like the way that I like his writing style and how he introduces, and it is gravitating, and you're able to follow along with it, and you're engaged with what he's saying, and it is interesting. His language, how he's communicating to folks his message. And he's even telling you in his communication that basically we have to have a way to communicate verbally we have to be able to convey these emotions that we're feeling. We have to put some words to them. We've put in actions. I am going to get to that. We're putting actions to this, but we're not putting we're not putting our right words to it. And I think that that is a problem in our community. We don't have a way of expressing who we are. Last thing I'm gonna say about the book before I give you the title, yada 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 about the book. Um, Protesting did not start in 2014. Protesting has been here since the civil rights movement. Now, I don't know if the tactics of today, tear gas and the things, the methods that they use to disperse the crowd, to stop the unlawful assembly, as we saw in Nipsey Hussle situation when they were mourning his death and the police came in there and broke up the community while they was in mourning. We, I don't know if the tactics that they're using is they may seem harsh or not appreciative, but I don't know. Anybody been water hosed from the 60s? I think that that tactic is crazy and outrageous, and we know that they did it. They turned water hose on people for the right to vote. Their unlawful assembly was to be given a voice in the process. But we seem to give up, we seem to have forgotten that now that we have a voice in the process, allegedly, have a voice in the process, we are not exercising it effectively. And we seem to be outraged because we are in a position of being extinct, or we see ourselves being eliminated by the police, excessive force. Because I'm not gonna call it police brutality. I'm gonna say excessive force. But it is because there's a communication barrier. And as I start to like really look at these cases, even from the perspective of how I feel personally about the police and their actions, I am very mindful of the fact that when they put on that blue uniform, each day that they walk out their house, they have signed a potential, they're putting on their potential death wish because it can go either way at any given day. So I understand that, and I don't ever want to marginalize what mentality they have to face out in the world, what dangers are out there. And I understand a need. I understand the fear factor, 100%. Okay, so the book, the book. I'm gonna see what I can find online. Yes, they are wearing. I understand that, and I don't want. I don't want to be like a person that is disrespectful to the job that they're doing. And I don't want to come across as if I don't have respect for what I respect their position. I just feel that if you have people in your workforce that are not doing a good that are bad actors in the uniform, you need to be willing to eliminate them from your. They don't need to be there. Um, Hold on, hold on. Joy up in here correcting her misspelled word. She want to be an influencer with proper speech and stuff. Uh, do not tell me I left the damn book in the car. 'Cause I was in the car reading the book, almost making me miss parking. But no, I got to go. I got to go. I want to know better. I could have did without the mimosa. I could tell you that much. Okay. The name of the book is On the Other Side of Freedom. Mm. I'm gonna have to start buying some stuff. They got a summary of the book. Who makes a summary of a book? Wow. They've turned his whole book into a conversation piece. I didn't even know that. But it's from what I've read thus far, it is well written and I could see it turning into that. Yes, lady, you are an influencer. She wants to make sure that it's known that she's an influencer. Let's go to the free sample. I'm citing fair use and all the stuff associated with it. Praise from On the Other Side of Freedom. So he's got numerous acknowledgments from different people who've read the book. The Washington Post says it's a poetic, passionate, and deep personal book. No, this is the book. This is one perspective of the incident. This is one perspective of the Michael Brown. Um, d- I don't know what to tell you. Publishers Weekly wrote in this thoughtful collection of essays, activist and podcaster McKesson reflects on what he's learned from protests, family upheaval, racial inequality, homophobia, community organizing, abuse, and love. A welcoming, accessibly, and inspiring entrance point to social justice work. So this is not focused entirely on the Michael Brown murder. This is focused on being a community activist. This is focused on these are the conversations that we should be having. What's next? We've been murdered. So in pursuit of what Jay-Z said when he's sitting up here in contract with the NFL, and he's saying we need to go beyond the kneeling. This is somebody that has went beyond that. And this is the reason why you need to go beyond the kneeling, beyond the protest. What's next? So now, if you only see one aspect of this and you just see Kaepernick kneeling and you feel like we're getting nowhere, we need to now start to look at the actions that have been taken and what we can do to build upon that. So, this is what this book is introducing to us. It's giving us a perspective as to what people that have been boots on the ground, organized and working, what they've encountered. That's what I see of it as of now. I may view the book differently when I finish it, but that's my introduction to it as I've read it, or as I'm walking into the book. That's what I see. That's my first impressions. They could change when I get to the very last page. Riveting and affecting, written with astounding poetry, vulnerability, and flair. McKesson is a gifted, pointed storyteller, and I can see that in his writing. Um, a compelling account of technology-powered protest. But I'm hoping it's more than just the protest. Let me see. Henry Louis Gates Jr. By turns lyrical reflection and practical handbook. On the other side of freedom reveals the mind and motivations of a young man who has risen to the fore of millennial activism through study, discipline, and conviction. His belief in a world that can be made better, one act at a time, powers his narratives and opens up a view on the cost, consequences, and rewards of leading a moment. So it is just crazy. Okay. On the other side of freedom, Delray McKen- Mc, so Lesson McKesson is a civil rights activist, community organizer, and the host of Crooked Media's award-winning podcast, Pod Save the People. So we might have to go in and listen to him in other aspects. Where's all the rest of the dudes that normally damn, hey Boogie, that normally be here in the morning to hear me moving into 2020 doing 2020 stuff. I'm 2020 winning 2020 2020 2020. I'm just messing with Joy, okay? Because she's an influencer. Okay. He started his career as an educator and came to prominence for his participation in and documentation of the Ferguson protests and the movement they birthed, and for public and for publicly advocating for victims of police violence and to end mass incarceration. He's spoken at venues from the White House to the Oxford Union, at universities and on TV. Named one of Time's 30 most influential people on the internet and a number 11 on Fortune's World's Greatest Leaders list. He has received honorary doctorate um, from the New York, the no, fuck that, from the New School, and the Maryland Institute College of Art, a leading voice in the Black Lives Matter movement, and the co founder of Campaign Zero, a policy platform to end police violence. Matt Kesson lives in Baltimore, Maryland. Um, really? Explain to me why. See, you always gotta have like, do not tell me it has something to do with being gay. Cause I was do you know a part of me as I'm reading as I was reading like I'm still gonna finish the book. All right, we'll come back and talk about we'll come back and talk about it on the other side of it. You do know that us in the it's just this is something um the same sex world is something that we're gonna have to learn to walk around differently because I don't even know why sexuality I'm still so let me I got so many things to say, Boogie. If he is a puppet, right? Are we missing the message because we don't like who the messenger sleeps with? Because it appears that every time in Black history, as I see it, we worry about who people fuck. Excuse me, sorry if it's early in the morning. This is for a mature audience, 18 and over. I already had a moment this morning when I said that people wear their poo poo on their face. And then nobody understood what I meant by that. And I was like really like taken back. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody. Joy the influencer didn't know what that meant. Well, Boogie, I will finish the book and then I will see how I feel about it. No, we missed the message when he takes our cause and is influenced by those who caused the problem to begin with. So, from your perspective, you see the Black Lives Matter movement. Is it the, I don't know because the story that I want to forget about. All right, I don't know. I don't know those people like you know those people. I don't know. So me, right? I don't know all those those influences out there. I'm just saying I don't know those people. I don't know if he did or he didn't. Let me see. Did you find other books? He's funding those things. Yeah, no, I can't see in this light. Okay. What this book? Well, I hope it goes to the author's. I hope that the free part of this book is the author's note because I found that very, yeah. Let me just read this part. Be careful, Ivame. What I saw with the different books is that they have the different books that's listed. Oh, I can't pull it up. Look at the top part of it. Because the top part of the books have they say somebody's notes. It says somebody's notes or whatever. But this I bought this from the it looked like this. But the other ones looks like people have broken it down and commented on it and made books about the topics raised inside of here. I respect your opinion, Boogie. I'm gonna finish reading the book and come back without having any knowledge of who's funding the man's thoughts. I think that I'm not opposed to what I've heard so far. Author's note: language is the first act. Let you know how good it is. Well, I'm reading it from my open-minded perspective. Author's note: language is the first act, obvious in retrospect, but something I've had to learn. I have not always had the words to describe, to unpack, to frame the world around me. None of us have. I have lived more than I can readily process aloud or in text. There are times when the words I have needed have been beyond my reach. Sometimes language is not my friend, not there when I need it, not yet ready to lend a helping hand or a challenge. There is something unnerving about this reality. It shook me. I started to think that the things I'd lived were not quite real because I did not have the words, the phrases, the stories to convey them to in anything beyond my mind. And yet, deep down, I knew that these stories would find life one way or another. Yet, there are other times when the words do come, when I am able to bring to life the things I've lived, the things I've hoped for and dreamt about, the things that scare me and that bring me joy. And when the words are closed, but not ready to peek beyond the surface, not quite the ones we can use to do the work at hand. We are able to create new ones, to make new ways of giving life to the stories of the life we've lived, hoped for, and deserved. Language, the tool by which power is initially distributed and redistributed. It is in its hands that we find the gateway to liberation, to justice, to freedom. Balance, balance was the first language of this country and is still the first language of many people. But it doesn't have to be the language we teach our children or whose tempo guides our steps. I now know that our stories travel in more than the words we speak or write. Our bodies have carried messages too, or our sorrows and struggles, our demands for the world worthy of our breath, or our happiness and our cool. Our blood has soaked the fields and streets of this country, and rem- it carries reminders of a terror that birthed a nation, destroyed families for generations, and built wealth unlike the world had ever seen. The stories of Black folks are etched in the foundation of this America, from its Wall Street to its Market Street, in the buildings of the University of Virginia and Georgetown, in the music that continues to shape culture and society, and in the laws and practices that make the largest institutions sway. In Ferguson, too, I was reminded that our bodies are communicating as much as our words are, and always have been. The Black bodies have always been seen in one way in this world, independent of the words and noises and the heart. It is an important part of our work to uncover the stories around us, to understand the messages they carry, and use their lessons to guide us in our journey. We have to name what we fight for, the world we want, a world we have not yet seen. In order to do this well, we have to be able to narrate how we got here, to describe the lives we've lived in order to unearth the things that we may have been too close to understand before. And we have to use our understanding of today to paint a picture of a tomorrow that will shine brighter for those who come behind us. I have learned too to think more deeply about the words and phrases that we use in the work of social justice to tell stories. I have heard people talk about the importance of community control and community input, but who only believe these things is so far as they get to define exactly who is a part of said community. I have heard people praise a hypothetical community only to exclude anyone who disagrees with them from their definition of community. Our words and stories must live up to the ideals of of the moment in which they are offered. When they do not, the work becomes less about liberation and more about self service. I too think every day of the stories that ended too soon, the result of the lives cut before their time. I think of the damage caused by the people who chose to decorate love. Wait a minute. I think of the damage caused by the people who chose to hold on, my thing keeps popping. This page doesn't normally move. I never had the book move before. Hold on a second. I think of the damage caused by the people who chose to decorate black bodies with bullets instead of love, and how that pain ripples through generations. This is not the whole story of my life, of Ferguson, of a movement. I could never tell the whole story of any of these things, as a story is never whole from a single perspective. I can no more tell the story of my growing up, knowing that my sister and my father and my loved ones have their own riches to add, than I can tell the story of a movement or the protest, knowing that all the other people who contributed and participated and were incarcerated have their own perspective to share. These are the stories that I feel best equipped to tell, having been present in many spaces in many cities and experiencing things that I never thought I would, with people I am proud to now call friends and family. These stories are offered in the spirit of protest in the tradition of those who revealed a part of themselves on paper in hopes that words on paper could help move us closer to justice and equality. I love my blackness and yours. So I don't know, Boogie. Um, and that's what I plan to do now on when I introduce the book. I'm going to give you an excerpt from the book, um, in hopes that you want to join me in reading it. So I don't think it's going to be the whole. I think this is walking into having discussions or being able to build upon, um, here for the purpose of, Monica Mo Justice. This is going to help build around conversations, um, of what's next. So, what are my plans for 2020? Shout out to DOD, um, because I am intrigued by a conversation that I'm sure wasn't birthed over on his platform. I'm sure it's been talking points for the people that have been walking around here, talking the talk, right? And I'm not gonna enjoin them and just talking the talk. I did, come back eagerly, and in the past couple of days, I reached out to people that I know are political masterminds here in Queens and just in New York area. And I started putting the feelers out there about this fourth party, what it would take to make a fourth party. Has there been discussions on a fourth party, and I've just not been, privy to it? Is this something that's, out there? Is it viable? So, a person told me anything is viable, Monica, if you put work into it. If you believe in it, it's viable. So I was thinking about that and I was like, you know what? And, I had a long conversation, yesterday with someone about it, and they was just like picking thoughts out of it. And the odd thing about that conversation with that person is that she said, but who do you go to with a concept like this? If you can write it out on paper, who do you go to execute a concept like this when all of our black leaders are corrupt? I almost died 50 deaths on the phone, or believe that they belong to the Democratic Party. How do you how do you how do you feed the momentum that they make that party? So I have to think about it some more. But I was just I'm not an organizer of something of this caliber. But I wanted to know if it existed out here, and I just wasn't privy to where those conversations were taking place. So I asked the person if they could, look around in their, treasure trove and see if they, know of anything. So I'm gonna wait and see if that, uh, materializes. If that, materializes. But that's my new book, and that's what I'm reading, and that's my new, wave of stuff that I'm doing. Other things have been brought to my attention, and I'm just going to tell you, I am committed to doing me, and anybody that, feels otherwise or is creating their own pathway to me. That's stupid. That's really stupid, and I don't got no time for it. As you can see, I'm on something totally different. Um, and I'm gonna start really watching the shit I entertain, the things I take in, um, for my life. Uh, and that's it. I don't think I have anything else to add today to today's atmosphere. Is there anything anybody else has to say? We had somebody new enter. All right. I'm about to call this a day and put myself to bed because I got no sleep. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I got some sleep, but I could use some more beauty sleep. I was up half the. I've been up at least for the last. Well, I wasn't up consistently for the last 9 hours, and that's about it. Sam Francis, did you ask a question earlier that I needed to go back on? And I guess Boogie, I got the same question for you. I have the same question, but I'll offline it. Never believe that just one person's perspective tells the whole story. That's just one person's perspective. It does not tell the whole story. And that's it. Anyway, this is Mo. No, I do want the review of the book. Um, yeah, I'm gonna figure out how that works out. See, the interesting thing about it is when I read these books in real time, it tends to help me generate my content, and I generally come back and I speak to you on the topics that come up as I'm reading it. But I don't think I do a good job of conveying that came out of the book as things develop. But I also know that my audience is changing for the better, um, and that is that's what's critical. And I'm really dipping and dabbing into the conversations that I would like to have with people. Um, and that's important because the other conversations, the entertainment factor conversations that people are accustomed to having around here, are not entertainment factors to me. It's like annoyance. I be like so freaking annoyed. But these things that are tangibles, I like and I want to embrace. But I'm not sure that the audience I have is there. It's a hard sell. It's a very hard sell. And I'm not even in the position right now where I think I'm working hard to sell things to people. I'm just doing me for the most part. Sometimes I look back, but I am gonna take some friendly advice from some folks. that are recognized on a higher level than me. And I'm always looking for people who model behavior and replicate and duplicate that behavior for myself. So I look at behavior models, and I'm going to start really uh, some things I just have a principle about that I cannot do. And those are the things I'm working on for 2020. And those are the things that I wrote down, like really looking at my journal and going into the journal and really taking the time to write about me in there and what I really see about me, the things that make me angry, the things that make me frustrated and stuff. And some of my street beliefs uh, are preventing me from being more effective because I do revert back to my street trainings and I just be like, that's a thug moment. Like I do go back. I do go back quickly. I revert back quickly because it's the only like those are my street smarts. And they're not even as savvy as most other people's are. But for the ones that I have values in and I implement them, it's like I know most folks don't get it, but I get it. I completely get it. I completely understand you. And I completely know. So I don't have like I have a lot of self discipline, and I depend on my self discipline to survive. And other people, they don't. They they don't have it, and there's been tools put in place to help you preserve your self discipline. And I've been fighting against those tools because they're just against my principalities. But at some point in time, I might have to utilize those tools more. The one thing that is extremely hard to do, and this is for everyone who's been in an emotional moment of being on the social media experience, to be in these social platforms, and have to deal with people tearing at your spirit, like really going after you or trying to break you down. I have to be conscious of that. And sometimes I give advice and I'm just like I'm sitting on it and I'm like, I hope the person is able to build from this or understand that this is coming from a genuine spot and is able to benefit, have a benefit from it. But I also know that having been faced with the same issues, I've reacted the same way. So I can't even begrudge a person for how they behave or how they react to something. In any event, that is the story. That's how it goes. That's the book I'm into, and that's where it is. Evolve May, I'm signing off. San Francis, I'm out. For the rest of you influencers, enjoy. Oh, I'm not even gonna go there. For any influencer that felt as if I missed you on the influencer shout out list yesterday. And I did like I wanted to say something about I kept saying I forgot a guy, right? I forgot Aaron Collins yesterday. Um just to say I know how I know there's mad respect for me out here and I appreciate that. And Aaron Collins is one of the people. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I have more to say on it, but just sometimes some things don't need no words. I'm just gonna become less entertained. This is Mo. I'm 20. What is it? 20, 20, 20, twinning. Troy is gonna be so mad at me. I'm kicked out of the girls' club. I know. I always get kicked out of the girls' club. I don't know fuck what. But be advised. I might get kicked out of that girls' club. But the original girls' club, I left. I don't care how anybody spins it. I left. Point blank. This is Mo, and I'm gonna go.